Well, first off, we got, this is interesting. Kevin O'Leary apparently taking a position in Hedera. Mr. Wonderful himself. Let's see what he has to say.
The majority of institutional capital waiting on the wings primarily is interested in Bitcoin. And if you ask a large institution after it's designated a commodity or a security, they're going to put on a 1.5% weighting and they're going to start with Bitcoin. Now, what happens to the level twos and everything else? I mean, I'm a big shareholder in HBAR. I'm optimistic about the volatility. It's crazy at the price. But I own a bunch of positions. Avalanche, you know, ETH, like everybody else. But that's just diversification. But really, I think what will happen when the regulatory environment is clear and we have designation to security over commodity, the volume of capital that will come into the top 5 tokens is going to be, it's going to be like a vortex sucking cash out of the crap at the bottom. The majority of institutional capital.
Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's really interesting because I've heard this from other people who pay attention to institutions and what they're doing. I think a lot of institutions, a lot of investors are sitting on the sidelines waiting for actual clarity, because just signaling that clarity is coming, that's not necessarily enough. They're ready, but they need to see like actual rules on the table, and we're still not there yet. So I think they're waiting for that, and that'll be coming. Once that comes, yeah, I think he's right. I think it's going to be wild. So, you know, hold on to your seats. Shout out to Sean for posting that. And this one I thought was pretty interesting too. This is from All In Crypto. I've had some good interactions with him lately. HBAR, HashFear, is that actually spelled right? I'm just going to assume it's HashFear. HBAR HashFear network may have been shortlisted among other networks to partake in a digital currency project led by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Dive into this one, huh? Yeah, it is HashFear. He just spelled it wrong. Okay. HashFear is on the All In Crypto website. Good for him for having this website. I got to do my Substack more. Hashgraph's HashFear network may have been shortlisted among the other networks to partake in a digital currency project led by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Funded by the Australian government, Project Acacia explores how digital money can be utilized in wholesale markets. According to the Reserve Bank of Australia, the future of money is on-chain within the blockchain, with Hedera's network coming out as on top as a network enabling such initiatives. And so we talked about this with Algorand too. A lot of different banks have been looking at chains like Algorand and Hedera, XRP, you know, and kind of testing them out. Which one's going to be the leader? Which one's going to work the best? Because Hedera was noted as a permission private network, it seemed Hashgraph's HashFear network may be chosen over Hedera Hashgraph, since Hedera is a public ledger. So interesting. So this is a little different. I didn't know about HashFear. I didn't know a ton about it, but apparently they're going to use the Hedera private network instead of the public one. Australian government's Project Acacia, in collaboration with Digital Finance Cooperative Research Center, has called out HBAR in recent reports for supporting the development of WCBDCs. In recent Project Acacia material, the U.S.'s push for stablecoin legislation with the Genius and Stable Acts has influenced Australia's outreach into digital assets. The UK Treasury's draft legislation on digital assets was also considered an influence, with new crypto asset rules in the UK set to help boost crypto adoption in the region in collaboration with the US. And that's what we're really looking for. You know, this they're talking about DeFi and AI too. Oh, interesting. Yeah, actually, this is worth reading. But you know, I was talking about it, regulatory clarity, super important, and not just like signaling that it's coming, but actually putting rules on the books. Like, this is what you can do, this is what you can't. That's what institutions want, because they're just not going to take that risk for no reason. And so once those are clarified, I think you're really going to see some major changes in how crypto is handled. Let's see, in recent weeks, Hedera has rebranded and renamed certain organizations within the HBAR ecosystem. With the rebrand comes a refined focus on enhancing and expanding decentralized finance on Hedera, alongside introducing new AI capabilities and continued enterprise outreach. Recent DeFi tools such as the Hedera Smart Contract Builder by Kabila and the Hedera AI Studio aim to streamline development on Hedera, making it easier for newcomers and non-HBAR devs to create dApps in the ecosystem. So Hedera is really going all in on AI. And I know Algorand's starting to signal that too. Probably for good reason. Maybe Algorand's a little too late, but maybe not. I think both could work really well for this, and especially once Algorand gets P2P, I think they need that, and I think that's coming. Maybe it's here already, I don't know. But one thing I thought was interesting is the Hedera Foundation CEO earlier in the year said that they need to focus more on users, because you can focus on enterprise clients, but enterprise clients want to see users. It's a really important metric for them. So you kind of have to focus on retail at the end. Even if you're focused on enterprise, you still have to focus on retail. I thought that was pretty interesting. Shout out to All In Crypto. He's one of the ones, I haven't watched a ton of his content, but I follow him on X, and I think he's got some pretty good stuff. And speaking of, this is the AI Studio, so let's read a little more about this. Yeah, by the way, Hedera has a partnership with NVIDIA, and I think that's really important. Here, I'm going to move this over. Hedera has announced the upcoming launch of the Hedera AI Studio, an all-in-one open source kit for AI development on HBAR, including Eliza OS, the Hedera Agent Kit. So I guess, is that kind of the kind of like Algo Kit, but maybe specifically for AI agents? OpenConv AI and the MCP server tools, the Hedera AI Studio is set to streamline AI agent development. The Studio is the first of its kind all-in-one AI package for developers to make AI agents and automated services with the tools at the ready. Yeah, so this is really cool. From Shaw, founder of Eliza OS, says working with the Hashgraph team has been focused, thoughtful, and execution-oriented. Hedera's infrastructure, built for real-world utility, made it easy for us to deploy and champion the Eliza AI agentic framework. AI Studio is Hedera's way of bridging the gap between organizations and a trusted layer for AI deployment and development on-chain. So Eliza OS for natural language interaction, Agent Kit with LangChain support for the agent side, I guess, OpenConv AI for secure agent messaging, real-time logs and tokenization built in, MCP server for connecting to AI to external source. So man, they got this all. They're really all in on the AI. I mean, this is really cool. I think the future is just going to be wild, man. I'm so excited to see how this stuff plays out. Imagine just having your own little team of AI doing all kinds of stuff on the internet for you, and you just sit back and let it do its thing. I'm excited about that. Especially like for tools, like I would love an AI that just like takes my videos and cuts little clips on and puts it to my clip channel and then posts them to X. Like that'd be awesome. That'd save me a lot of time. I'd pay money for that for sure. That'd be worth it. Especially when they can start generating enough revenue to basically pay for themselves. How cool would that be? Do you have anything else for Hedera? Oh, I forgot that. All right, one more. We'll talk about this. Kabila app has announced the launch of the Hedera contract builder for Web3 developers on HBAR and beyond, opening new wide doors for non-HBAR devs to start deving within the I love this line, non-HBAR devs to start deving within the growing Hedera ecosystem. And you got a lot of stuff. I saved a lot from All In Crypto. So this is what we talked about. I think this is kind of the this is kind of like Algo Kit, but made for people who don't even have dev experience. Although I didn't go through the whole Algorand workshop, but they had a workshop for like people that was supposed to be for people coming outside of crypto and kind of showing them how they can build on Algorand without really knowing a ton of dev stuff. So I only went through the first module. It was pretty interesting. I do want to get to the other ones. And so it looks kind of like Hedera is kind of doing the same thing, and that's good stuff. This is why, I mean, I think Algorand and Hedera, and I'm not covering any Sui stuff today, but I've been keeping an eye on it. I think they're doing stuff to make it usable for people like that aren't like super duper knee deep in crypto, and I think that's really necessary. I think that's really important.